everyone, it's Liz. I hope you're all doing well. A lot of people have been asking me about the difference between an overlocker and a Coverstitch machine, so I'm going to get right into it now. In really simple terms, an overlocker is a machine that will sew a seam, trim the edge and cover the edge in one step. A Coverstitch machine is a machine that top stitches a hem with twin needles, and on the reverse is a loopy thread that goes between those two lines of stitching. This type of hem is very stretchy and is commonly used on jersey, where it's a little bit more tricky to sew a stretch hem using a sewing machine. Now I'm going to take you over to the machines and just give you a little overview of the anatomy and what makes them different. I've opened the front cover of the overlocker, and here you can see that there is a knife, and the knife cuts against this plate here and this chops off the edge of the fabric. So if I wind this wheel forward, what you'll see is that these two loopers seesaw backwards and forwards, and they wrap the thread over the edge of the cut fabric that's already gone through the knife. So if I open the Coverstitch machine in a similar way, you'll see that there's still a looper underneath, but there's only one looper this time. And this is because all this does is loop the thread on the reverse of the two lines of top stitching. You'll also note that there's no knife, so this does not cut any fabric away from what's been stitched. This machine's much more like a traditional sewing machine, but instead of having a bobbin, you have this looper which will loop the thread on the reverse. I want you to suspend disbelief for a minute with me and pretend that this is a pair of leggings. So I have my two pieces of fabric, and pretend that this is either the inside leg seam, or you can pretend that it's the outside leg seam, doesn't really matter. But basically we just want to join these two pieces of fabric together, and if I pop this under the overlocker, I can just lift the presser foot gently by the front. I don't even need to lift the presser foot by the lever, and if I just run this through the overlocker, you can see that it's trimming the edge off. And when I get to the end, you can see that it has left this nice loopy finish over the edge, and that will stop my seam fraying. And it's also cut off the excess, so you can see that the loops are really flush to the edge. If I open it out, you can see that I've got my seam line, which is where the two pieces of fabric have been joined together down the middle. I just want you to suspend disbelief again and pretend that this is the bottom of a pair of leggings. So this is the leg hem. What you would do here is fold it over, and turn up the hem that you wanted to have, and you would normally press it in place, pop it under the machine here and put the presser foot down, and very similar to a sewing machine, you just pop it through, lift the needles, bring the threads forward and snip them off, pull it to the back and snip it. And you can see there that we have these parallel lines of stitching by the twin needles, and on the back we have this loopy stitch which is very stretchy. So I've been purposefully quite black and white about the fact that you can't sew a hem with an overlocker, but there is a method that you can use where you fold the fabric over as if you're going to sew a blind hem. You reduce the tension right down on the left hand needle, and then you sew over it with the overlocker, and when you pull it out flat, what you get is vertical stitches all along the front or the right side of the fabric, and then on the rear you end up with like a small seam that's overlocked. So it is possible, but it is a bit of a faff, and I didn't really want to muddy the waters too much with that method, because unless you really like the look of that vertical stitching along the front, it's perhaps not the most attractive option in my opinion. So just to recap, basically your overlocker is for sewing seams, and your cover stitch machine is for making hems and decorative stitches. Someone did DM me on Instagram the other day and say a cover stitch just feels like a really expensive way to hem things, and yeah, you're absolutely spot on. That's basically what it is. Really expensive machine just for the privilege of having stretchy hems on jersey. I am being a bit facetious because you can also use the cover stitch as a nice way of doing some decorative top stitching on athletic wear and on hoodies and things like that. So when you see that kind of loopy top stitching, that's often done with a cover stitch machine, and you can get cover stitch machines that will do both the decorative loopy thread on both the right side and the wrong side, and that's known as flat lock, but my machine doesn't do it, so I can't demonstrate it for you. I'm often asked, is it really worth buying these machines? And I share my thoughts on whether it's worth buying a cover stitch machine in the Coverstitch demo video that I did about 6 weeks ago, and I'll link to that at the end of this video. For me, a cover stitch machine is a bit like an embroidery machine in that it's a nice to have. It'll give you an extra dimension to your sewing, but it's definitely not something that you absolutely have to have. You can definitely achieve nice looking hems on jersey if you use something like a twin needle, which won't quite be as stretchy, but it gives a similar effect, or using something like a honeycomb decorative stitch, which looks really nice. Personally, I'd prioritise an overlocker over having a cover stitch machine, just because an overlocker is much more general purpose. It will give you a more professional finish to your sewing if you don't already have one, so you can finish all the edges of your seams very neatly and very nicely. And also an overlocker is really useful when sewing stretch garments, so you get a lot more control over things like differential feed, which means that you can adjust the rate at which the feed dogs pull the fabric through the machine, and it gives you more control over how stretched out your seams are getting, and you can adjust it according to the thickness of your fabric. Again, I cover things like that in my tips for sewing stretch fabrics video, so I'll link to that one at the end as well. So I hope this video has cleared things up a little bit. If you still have questions, you can always leave me a comment down below and I'll try my best to answer. Stay safe everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye!